What's going on, guys? Just doing a stream. It's Tuesday night. I did all my UFC 276 predictions already, and I wanted to test out my camera before the live stream tomorrow. So let's hope everything. It doesn't. Why is it? Okay, I think it's working. I just want to test out, make sure I don't have any more camera issues. I had issues on Saturday with my camera doing some weird thing while I was streaming. So here I am. We're going to talk about UFC 276. I'm still doing the live chat tomorrow. But by the way, I'm doing the live chat a little bit early. I'm going to start at like 5:30. So I can still do about an hour. I have some things I have to do. But I'll be going live tomorrow, Wednesday, like usual. But I will be leaving a little bit early. But I'll be doing it about the same amount of time as I usually do. So let's see. I want to make sure I got everything right here because StreamYard's a little bit weird sometimes. Okay. So, yep. So, anyway, tomorrow's live chat, I repeat, Wednesday's live chat will start at like 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So, about a half hour to 45 minutes earlier than usual. Let me go post this link in the Discord really quick. Give me 1 second, guys. Put questions in the chat. Don't forget to like the stream. As always, I would greatly appreciate it if you haven't already. Let me go pull up this live stream. Let me go like this. Copy this. Okay. Boom. Send that in the Discord. Okay. There we go. But yeah, we're going to talk about UFC 276. We're going to talk about Jones versus Stipe. Dana White said that. And we're also going to talk about Nate Diaz, Khamzat Chiamev, because there's some comments that Dana White said that I want to talk about. But really, I wanted to just get on here and test my camera. I'm hoping and praying I don't have the issues because I could not find anything about it online. Like, I searched and searched and searched and searched and searched and couldn't find any answers to the issue I was having. And it was just randomly happening at any point in time. So we'll see if it happens again. I hope it doesn't. I'm going to have to test it with OBS too. I'm hoping it was just a one-off, just like a random incident. And hopefully I never have to deal with it again. But we'll see. Let me pull something up. If you haven't yet, guys, go check out the prediction videos. I've done a bunch of prediction videos for UFC 276. Basically, almost every single fight. Let's see what fights I skipped. Let me go on. I thought about making a complete video with every pick that I made and just doing the full card predictions, but I skipped fights for a reason. So let's see. How many fights did I not do a prediction for? I didn't do Jessica Rose Clark versus Julia Stolarenko. Who gives a shit about that fight? I didn't do Jessica I, Macy Barbara. Ew. And I did every other fight on the card other than Brad Tavares versus Dricus Duplessis. Or Duplessis. I always forget how to pronounce his name. That's almost the reason why I didn't want to do it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a full card prediction just to throw it out there because it's such a great card, but I don't think I am. I'm probably not going to. What's going on? Do you think Usman versus Chimaev will be the biggest fight in UFC history? No, but it will be a big fight for sure. It will be a big fight. Chimaev in a title fight will be massive. What issue? I don't know. It was just like randomly like freezing up, and then like the picture was like changing color on the stream. And then the camera was having like a bunch of settings things pop up. And why do I look off center? I got to put a piece of tape on my camera so I can see exactly where center is. Hold on 1 second. Let me mute this so I don't hear myself. Yeah, it's a little bit off center. Let's take a look. Which way do I need to go? So I need to cut this off a little bit. All right. No, the title's not official. Just some recent news, honestly. Let me see if that straightened it out a little bit. Yeah, okay. So that should be dead center now. It's hard because my chair shifts a little bit, and then the camera shifts a little bit when I take the memory card in and out. So it ends up messing up. Nate Diaz emoji. What's going on, Legalized Ranch? Habib emoji. What's going on, USA? Hope you're doing well. And no, just rumor things. So first off, And I'll just right off the jump, we'll talk about the things in the title. Because when I do these random ones, I just kind of throw shit in the title and It is what it is. But those are recent stories. Dana White said Jon Jones is ready to go. Let me take a drink real quick. Said Jon Jones is ready to go and will fight Stipe Miocic or Francis Ngannou. I personally prefer to see Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou. I think that's the more compelling fight. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Stipe Miocic, but I never want to see him fight for a title again. The guy has just been historically inactive. He fights once a year for like the last 5 years. Why do we want to see him as champion again? And I get it. You know, Stipe's probably the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time, but still, I'd rather see the Francis Ngannou fight. But I think it probably will end up being Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. I think it will be, let's see, I forgot the fight cards now. So 278, it'll probably be UFC 279 in September. UFC 279 will probably be that. I think right now that has Aljo versus TJ, but I think main event will be Jon Jones. Jon Jones versus, it doesn't have a main event. It's rumored Aljo versus TJ is going to be on there. But I believe that it'll probably be Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic for the interim heavyweight title, another interim heavyweight title, another interim belt in general. I'm just so sick of interim belts. But I would just rather them wait and do Jones versus Ngannou. I don't want to see Stipe spoil the party. You know, Jones versus Ngannou is one of the biggest fights the UFC can make. As far as Nate Diaz versus Khamzat, now my nose is itching. Nate Diaz versus Khamzat, it's funny. Dana's saying, we're contractually obligated to offer these guys fights, otherwise we got to pay them, blah, blah, blah. Then he comes out and says, well, Nate Diaz did accept the Khamzat Chimaev fight. They are stringing this man along because he won't re-sign a contract. He is actively devaluing Nate Diaz because Nate Diaz wants to leave, and that's why he's saying, "Oh well, Nate Diaz, it's not like he's a Kamaru Usman." Basically he's saying Nate Diaz is a translation. He's saying Nate Diaz is a bum, and he doesn't matter to us because he's not championship caliber. Blah 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 blah. But really, Dana White in the UFC does care. But now they're trying to devalue him because he does not want to stay there anymore, and he's probably going to go off into YouTube boxing and make a fortune and probably get KO'd a bunch of times or something like that. But that doesn't change the fact that Nate's a massive star. The UFC would love to keep him. And they would even probably, if he wasn't constantly trying to renegotiate for money, they would probably give him favorable matchups, instead of vindictive matchmaking with like Hams. Who wants to see Nate? Like, if you're saying he's not a Kamaru Usman, well then why are you booking him against top 5 welterweights? You booked him against Leon Edwards. You booked him against now. You want to book him against Khamzat Chimaev? It just doesn't add up. The math does not add up at all. What's up, Sinister? What's up, Alex? What's up, Iceman? What's more likely to happen, Francis Tyson or Conor Floyd 2? Francis Tyson. I don't want to see any of them, no. What's going on, Cayman? If Alex beats Izzy, where do you see Izzy going as far as opponents? I mean, that's a big hypothetical, but they probably rematch. Who are your top 5 best 155 division fighters right now? Who do you think are the best? Charles Islam. Man, I wanted to do that without looking it up, but I just got to look up the rankings. I'm tired right now. Let me take a look. I'll say Charles Islam, Fiziev, Gamrot, maybe. I'll say Charles Islam. Do I think Gamrot beats Dustin? Maybe. I'll say Charles Islam, Dustin, Fiziev, Gamrot, and Arman are tied, I guess, because the most recent fight, I'd say Arman. There you go. There's my bet. There's the best answer I could offer. Guys, if you have not already, do me a favor and like the stream. Run up the likes on the stream. I would appreciate it. Who would you favor in a fight with Emmett versus Volk, Holloway winner? Is that even a question, Sinister? Volk and Holloway would both destroy Emmett, in my opinion. Giga calling for TKZ fight. Saw in an interview is corny. Yeah, corny as hell. Corny as hell. You can't convince me that anybody wants to see Giga Chikadze versus TKC. And if you can find me somebody that wants to see that fight, let me know where they're at so I can sucker punch them. What's up, VT? What's up, Sinister again? UFC are dirty when it comes to negotiating tactics. Yeah, man, it's constant. It's a constant thing. You know, it's like any big business. They're trying to make as much money as possible while paying the people who produce the money for them by doing the actual work. And this isn't 100% of the case, but trying to pay them as little as possible. Will Colby fight again this year? Honestly, probably not. Colby's super inactive, and I don't think he wants that Khamzat Chiamev fight. That's the fight to make, but he doesn't want it. Who would win, Werdum or Izzy? Werdum. Joe, you should throw a poll up on your channel to see who people think won the second Max Volk fight. I'll do it in the chat. Remind me in a little bit, and I'll do it in the chat. Okay. I'm already throwing a bunch of prediction polls. I don't want to crowd the community tab with too much stuff, if that makes sense. So remind me in like 10, 15 minutes, and I'll put a poll in here. We'll see how many people are in there. We'll probably have like 30, 40, maybe even 50 people in a little bit, depending. I mean, it's kind of late, so I don't know. But either way, no matter how many people are in here, I'll do it in like 10 minutes. Let me know. Who you like for Rachmanov next? Everybody. Give him everybody. Sacrifice Bilal Muhammad to him. I mean, I want to see Shavkat fighting these top guys. He's in the top 10 now. I've been high on Shavkat Rachmanov for a long time. And now he's top 10. I'm telling you right now, Wonderboy Thompson ain't taking that fight. Wonderboy Thompson wants none of these grapplers. He doesn't want none of them. He did an interview recently. He talked about Michelle Pajeda. And also, there was another one. I can't remember who. He don't want these grapplers. He don't want these grapplers at all. He's not fighting Shavkat. He's not fighting Brady. He's not fight. Well, he already fought Bilal and Gilbert and got out-wrestled in both of them. So, yeah. He don't want those fights. When is Masvidal's next court case? No idea. I haven't heard anything about it. I think we get Chiesa Bilal next randomly. I don't want that fight. I don't want that. No. But maybe. Picks Izzy, Max, Pajeda, Barberina, O'Malley. Izzy, Max, Pajeda, Barberina, O'Malley. Well, you already probably seen mine, but I disagree with a lot of those. But I got Izzy for sure. If Kai beats Moreno, do you think he can beat Figgy if Figgy stays at 25? Yes. If he beats Moreno, I'll be much more high on his chances to beat Figgy. For sure. For sure, for sure. If Nunes loses again, where does she go? Straight into retirement. Back to the Shavkat question. Strictly, if I'm making the matchups right now, I'd book him against Bilal Muhammad. Bilal doesn't want that fight. Bilal's not going to take that fight. But if I'm booking the fights, I want to see Shavkat propelled to that top 5 right now. And Bilal Muhammad makes a lot of sense. And I would absolutely love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. By the way, guys, we are at 3,721 subs. I'm trying to get to 4,000 subs. And then eventually catapult to 5,000 subs. So if anybody's watching this and they're not subscribed, subscribe. If you have any friends that watch MMA, tell them to go subscribe to the channel. I want to hit 10K before the end of the year. We're a little past halfway through the year. So we have to double the subscriber count that it took me over a year to get. So help me out. Help me out. But I don't want no fake subs. So I don't want any fake subs. So don't help me out with no fake subs. I got to X out of a bunch of these dumb tabs I got open now. That's what happens. Okay. What's up? What's up? Finally here. I appreciate you. I'm always going back Stipe because I was live when he finished Cormier. That was the second fight, right? When he finished him with the body shots. Dude, that was a great performance. He was losing the fight too. What can we do if Max gets 3-0'd by Volk? I don't know if he can take it. If I can take it. Better hope Volk changes divisions. That's all you better hope. 3-peat again. I'm not sure what that means. Shavkat versus Brady is a logical choice. Yeah, but I want to see him tested against top guys, you know, not each other. They're great contenders, but the division is stacked. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight either. My day was good. How was yours, Antoine? Thanks for coming to the stream. Who would win, Cruz versus O'Malley? I don't know, man. One of them probably pull out with an injury before the fight. If I had to pick someone, I think Cruz is getting too slow. But that's a tough fight. That's a 50-50 fight. I'll say O'Malley, though. I feel like a lot of these guys are getting old. But I think he would have tough time with Cruz. Who should Gamrot fight next? Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush is the fight to make. Who would win, Aspinall or Blades? We're going to find out soon, but Aspinall. When we watching Max Volk 2 in the Discord, Sinister, yeah. We got to do that. If you guys want to do it without me, I don't know when exactly I'm going to be able to do it, but I would like to do it. But there's just so much going on. So now that UFC has replaced the women fight with Robbie Lawler, the main card is goated. Thank you, MMA gods. Thank you, MMA gods. I appreciate you. Misha Tate, Lauren Murphy, no longer on the main card. Our prayers have been answered. Gamrot should fight maybe RDA Fiziev winner or loser, depending. Yeah, I think that makes sense as well. Also, Cruz versus Aldo. Definitely Aldo. Definitely Aldo. I have a feeling they do in Khamzat Bilal in Abu Dhabi. That's what I think. That's what my most recent video says. I think that's what's going to happen. Colby ain't taking that fight. I would hope the UFC surprises us and announces Colby versus Khamzat. That's the fight I want to see. I have not had a chance yet, man. I'm sorry. I will soon. Let me type that up real quick. I'll open a tab so that way I remember to do it. Let's see. It ended in the second round. Okay. UFC Bellator 282. I will watch that soon. Could you say with the removal of flyweights that the pay-per-view is 10 out of 10 now? Yes. I'll say 9 out of 10. I wish the main event was a little bit more compelling. O'Malley will get stretchered out with no serious injuries. Similar to the Chito Vera fight, is that your prediction? Where he got his legs brutally chopped down, then shucked to the ground and flash KO'd with brutal ground and pound elbows and stretchered out of the cage, no serious injury. I bet you like 3 people just joined this stream and they're like, really? Is he really talking about this again? Sean Brady versus Vicente Luque. Luque has a fight against Jeff Neal, I believe it is. Listen, some female fights are bangers, but that fight was guaranteed snooze. Yeah, I had no desire. It ruined the main card for me. Gamrot versus Fiziev would be an interesting fight. I would love Gamrot versus Fiziev. That's an amazing matchup. I'm curious how Fiziev's grappling would look against an elite level grappler like Gamrot. All right, let's do the poll. Now that I'm remembering. Who won the second fight? Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski. It's my favorite when you say stretchered out with no serious injury. I love saying that. It's hilarious. One day it's going to die. Like 4 years from now, we'll be talking about, remember when you used to say that all the time? Eventually, one day, it's just going to die. It's like a natural progression of anything. Eventually, the saying will die. But also, I love this new layout I changed with StreamYard to have this more squared off look of the comments. I think it looks much better. I think Max versus Volk, fight of the night for sure. I don't know. Lawler versus Barberina may snatch it up. Let's see what the votes are looking like. For some reason, it didn't pop up in StreamYard, but shout out to French Fries. 11 months of membership. I mean, seriously, you've been a member for 11 months. Day one member of French Fries. There's like probably like 8 day one members, I want to say. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you being a long-time member. If anybody else wants to become a member of the channel, here's the link. It's $3 a month. On Saturday, live during UFC 276, we will all, it's about 30, not everyone participates, but we have about 40 people in the Discord. We will be messaging live during UFC 276, talking about all the fights. You'll get all my early thoughts, everyone else's early thoughts. We got a great community. And that's just one of the benefits of the membership. So sign up. I just posted the link in the chat, but it's also in the description. It's only $3. You get a badge next to your name. You get extra custom emojis to use. A bunch of different stuff. So go sign up, support the channel. Why Nate Diaz? He is finished. I don't know what the question you're asking here. I really hope Josh Emmett does not get the title shot. Dude's got nothing for Volkanovski. I agree, man. I'm 100% with you. Who do you got in the trilogy? I got Max 4th round TKO. I got Volk by decision. Who would you pick? Mark Madsen, Alex Hernandez? Probably Mark Madsen to out-wrestle him. Thanks for remembering the poll. No big deal. What do you think about Shavkat versus Burns? I just feel bad giving Burns all the up-and-coming killers. I don't know if that's necessarily right. I don't think that's right. Let somebody else take some weight off his shoulders. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If the fight was judged as an all Holloway, but because he did more damage, but Volkanovski won 3 rounds despite making less damage in total. There you go, Pedro. There you go. Who should Arman fight next? Do the Gamrot rematch. I'm tired of these unsatisfying decisions. Let's put it that way. Do that rematch. Wait, so Gamrot's over top Fiziev? Well, I guess Gamrot has a better win than Fiziev. Oh my goodness. Don't you dare even if anybody suggests to me, if anybody even remotely suggests to me Gamrot versus Ferguson, just drop the ban hammer. Just drop the ban hammer on him. But was that what we were talking about, or we were talking Arman? We're talking Arman. Now I'm thinking Gamrot. Who do I want to see Arman fight next? Damn, Connor dropped to number 12. Book Arman versus Diego Ferreira, maybe? I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Gamrot versus... Maybe Arman. Book Arman against the loser of RDA versus Fiziev. Since the pay-per-view itself is stacked, what prelim do you most want to see? Which prelim do I most want to see? Gotta be Brad Riddell, Jalen Turner. But I could also... Oh, no. Robbie Lawler, Brian Barberina got moved to the main card. So, that was the only one that had competitive. Definitely Brad Riddell, Jalen Turner. That's the best fight on the prelims. And if you're not like a crazy hardcore fan and you don't watch every fight, this Saturday is the night to watch every fight. I'm telling you right now. Because I know some of you guys who watch the channel aren't necessarily... I'm just seeing this message all the way at the bottom. I'm gonna skip down to this message. I love this message, Derek. Absolutely love this message. But watch every fight on Saturday. It's a great card. If you have to miss one fight, just miss the first fight. I'm skipping down here, but I will get back to questions. Can you describe how Marlon Vera Sean O'Malley fight went down? It's my favorite. Ha 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 ha. Okay, let's break it down for you. The scene is UFC 252. The card that DC and Stipe fought on the trilogy, okay? So Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. It starts off. There's a real feeling out process. Sean lands some good leg kicks. You know, there's some back and forth, some punches thrown. It's kind of a 50-50 fight, okay? And then Marlon Vera lands a picture-perfect leg kick. Hits the perennial nerve of Sean O'Malley. And then Sean O'Malley gets drop foot because his legs have been chopped. He's compromised. And then Chito Vera kind of chases him down, kind of lands some shots. Eventually just shucks him to the ground. And then brutally flash KOs him with brutal ground and pound elbows. I actually think he went out twice from the ground and pound. And then the referee jumped in. And then Sean O'Malley was stretchered out of the cage with no serious injury. And then him and his cult-like following claimed that it was a fluke loss. So there you go, Derek. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate offering that up for you. Okay. Do you think betting $100 on Max is worth it? I'm not really a betting expert, but I'm picking Volk, so no. But maybe. Have you seen Herb Dean sexism in the past when it comes? Yes, for sure. Herb is so weird. He'll stop a fight late as hell, and then he'll stop a fight early as hell. So I don't know. I have no idea what Herb Dean is up to be quite honest. I have no idea. I'd rather see Yair versus Volk than Emmett versus Volk. I agree 100%, French fries. Very hard to answer the poll. Watching it live, I definitely felt like Max won. Almost felt like a robbery, but changed my mind after I watched it back. What happened in that fight, and I said this in my prediction video, the two early drops where he dropped Volk to one knee is what swayed a lot of people to feel that way, in my humble opinion. Okay? If Max beats Volk Saturday night, will they fight for a fourth time? Probably, depending on how it ends. Joe, what do you think about Yan versus Figgy 135 since Yan doesn't have a fight? I think Yan will fight Henry Cejudo in his return. But I like that fight, but I think Figgy gets the break speed off of him. Can Volk defeat the winner of Islam Oliveira? I think it's very possible, but it's going to be tough. I feel like Dom Cruz has shown better power or at least willingness to sit down on his punches in his last two fights, so I'm hoping he continues to change with age. It's actually sad watching Cruz fight because while he's still a good fighter, if you go back a couple years ago, I mean, he was just a completely different fighter in his prime. Back before the Cody Garbrandt fight, his footwork, his movement is just nowhere near the speed and level that it was years ago. Did Arman win the fourth round because of the knockdown? Yes. Arman versus Gregor Gillespie, if he ever decides to fight again, that's a perfect idea. I think I actually suggested that in the post-fight. Gamrot, stop it. All right, Iceman. Iceman's getting banned. I'm just kidding. But don't ever suggest that. Dariush wants to fight Poirier next. What are your thoughts? I think that's a fine fight. Cyborg, but I think that's a tough matchup for both guys. I'd probably favor Poirier to give you a more of an answer. Cyborg versus Kayla, who do you got? Does this happen this year? No, I would take Cyborg. Tony versus Nate, do a retirement fight, and for the love of MMA gods, yeah, that would be a nice treat for us MMA fans. I don't think they'll do the rematch because they're still low in the rankings. If they both true contenders, I believe they'll meet in the future. Yeah, already answered that. JRC is going to walk out to Shawn Michaels' theme song from WWE. And this is a news story? I mean, does anybody actually care for this? I'm not trying to say anything about you. I don't care. Do you think Airman won? I don't know who Airman is, but if you're talking about Arman Sarukian, yes. Oh, you fixed it. Sorry. I had Sarukian winning 2-1 heading into the fourth. Yeah, and it comes down to the fourth round. First two rounds are clearly Arman. Fourth round, I think third round is up for debate. Fifth round is Gamrot. Fourth round goes to Arman too, though. Gamrot versus Dariush, potentially. I like that too. Should Gamrot get rewarded for that big win in another division? You get a title fight after a main event win. Dana should force Justin and Dustin to fight for their position. Should Gamrot get rewarded for that big win in another division? Yes, he should get rewarded. Joey, imagine having a Poland fight card. Gamrot versus Gaethje Co-Main. Yan versus Ankalaev, and stack the rest of the fight card with up-and-coming Poland fighters. That sounds like a great idea. The funniest thing about the whole fight was the first time I ever watched a UFC pay-per-view, I thought O'Malley was a bum. That's mad funny. You might have been right. We'll see. You should make a stretchered out with no serious injury t-shirt merchandise. I know. I wonder how many people would buy those. That made my night. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, Derek. Sometimes I watch Vera versus O'Malley while I take a dump. Well, I'm happy that you do that. All refs stop women fights early because they're shocked when a knockdown happens. Any predictions for 278 Utah card? Like any more matches that might be added? Predictions to the card they have so far? I have, off the top of my head, I would have to put more thought into that, Junior. I thought they were going to do Aljo versus TJ on that card, but no. So if I had to guess, so let's see what's available. Usman is already on the card. Okay. Devison's injured. Aljo's on 279 most likely. Volkanovski's booked up. It's not going to be Oliveira. It's not going to be Usman. I mean, Usman's already on there. I already said that. It's not going to be Adesanya. Could it be Yuri? I doubt it. Is it going to be Francis? Absolutely not. You might see Carlos Barza, Wei Li Zhang. There's a chance you could see that. Yeah, that would be my guess. That's your best bet right there. Carlos Barza, Wei Li Zhang could be added to the Utah card. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's a definite. But if they're going to add another title fight, that would be my best guess. Who's physically strongest out of the bunch? Yo Romero, Paulo Costa, or Jared? I'd say Yo. I got Max vs. Tool on the big screen right now. I'll let you know. Okay, Gage? Don't worry. I got Iceman for you. What's harder for McGregor, Nate or Chandler? Nate or definitely Chandler. Mod's weird. I don't know what you're saying here. Cool tidbit of MMA news fan. Not major news or anything. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on you, but I don't find it interesting at all. But if you find it interesting, I'm happy you do. It makes the card a little bit more special for you. It was a joke, yeah. Sold a RoboCop from KSW. Should he sign with you? Definitely UFC. I've heard a lot about him. I'm playing. I figured you were. O'Malley will finally gain MMA Joe's respect this weekend. I picked him to win, and I said it's a decent win if he does win. Now, with that all said, I've said 100%. I am not going to downplay this win if he does win, which I suspect that he will. But beating Pedro Munoz does not mean that you're championship level caliber. It means you beat an elite level fighter, but Pedro, always a hair behind the pack, if that makes sense. And his next fight should be like a top 5, maybe top 5 opponent. And then he would really earn the respect. But it also depends on the performance. Like if he wins and he just dominates from bell to bell, then I'd be very impressed. If he loses, prepare for World War III in the comments of my post-fight. Who would Dariush beat from Islam, Demir, Armin, Charles, Fazeev, Guram, Gillespie, and Gamrot? Jeez Louise, bro. He loses to Islam. He beats Demir. He beats Armin. He loses to Charles. He loses to Fazeev. He loses to Guram. He beats Gillespie. And he beats Gamrot. I don't know. Don't hold me to all those. I'm super annoyed we have to wait to see Jon Jones at heavyweight versus Francis. That's at least 6 to 8 more months away. You don't know that. It could be end of the year. It could be December for all we know. I'd wait till December. I'd much prefer to see that fight, to be quite honest. Joey, who do you got in a fight, Gamrot versus Gaethje? That's a tough one to pick because Gamrot's striking leaves a lot to be desired, but Gaethje's grappling is an issue. I'd probably go Gamrot. What's more hype, Sean versus Pedro or Alex versus Sean? All of them. Give me all of it. Inject it all into me. Inject it all into my veins. I'm dying for UFC 276. By the way, guys, I'm doing a live chat tomorrow. I'm starting early, 5:30. I'm going to be starting 5:30 Eastern time tomorrow instead of 6. I got something to do, so we'll be about an hour. But on Friday, I'm doing a big UFC 276 like pre-fight stream. I'll be on for like 2 or 3 hours Friday night. So don't forget about that. Maybe they can get Nate on 278. That's what I would like to see. That's what I would like to see. Most def, no stuff, LOL. I laugh when Mike Perry came out to Barbie Girl. Yeah. That was a good one. UFC 277 main card is looking great. Pena versus Nunes is going to be fun to watch. Yeah, I'm interested in the rematch. I don't know about the main card looking great, though. Oh, wait, Bam Bam. I don't know what we're talking about, Joe. What do you think of Yanez versus Font? And who do you got? I like that matchup, but Font's coming off a loss now. He got brutally beat up. I'd probably take Yanez. O'Malley versus Font is next. I don't want to see O'Malley versus Font. Come on now. I don't understand why people think Nate would beat Paul. I don't even know if Tyson can beat him at his age. Yeah, I don't know. Ngannou said he'd be ready by January. Exactly. Let's wait till January. What's the difference between September and January? Wait, October, November, December, 3 more months. Pedro Munoz is on a 4-fight losing streak. It's fights a tailor-made for him. That's why they haven't dropped Munoz from the rankings like they did at Sun Sal. I get it. I get it for sure. But Munoz was always criminally underrated, and a lot of those fights were very competitive. But it is a very good matchup for Sean O'Malley. But at the same time, Munoz is super durable and has great leg kicks, so it's one of those fights. Which division do you think is the worst division? Probably heavyweight still. The way Volk took that head kick from Max in the first round, there's no way Max can finish him. How do I send a question? There you go. You click the little money symbol, and then you change it to Super Chat, and then you change it up to $100, and then you type your message and send it. It's called a Super Chat. Versus Mike Davis in UFC at 155. Who do you got? I have no idea. 276 is the equivalent of Christmas morning as a kid. Dude, I say this all the time with big fight cards. And it's very rare we just get a fight card that fight after fight after fight you're pumped for. I mean, think about this. Think about this for a second. Think about this. We're gonna get a little appetizer. Ian Gary, Gabe Green. Is Ian Gary gonna get exposed? Then we get to see two old legends, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, Jim Miller. That's just a slight appetizer. Slight appetizer. Then we get to Brad Riddell, Jalen Turner, an amazing lightweight fight. That could be a main event of a fight night. Co-main event of a fight night. Then we get Pedro Munoz, Sean O'Malley. Is Sean O'Malley the real deal? Then we get Robbie Lawler, Brian Barberina. Should be a savage fight. Might be the best fight of the night as far as craziness. Then we get Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. Apparently I've been saying the name wrong. I thought it was Pereira. It's Pereira. Which is going to be a great fight. I'm curious to see how Alex Pereira does. And I'm curious to see how Sean Strickland does as well. Then after all those great fights, we get to see Volkanovski and Max go at it again. Two of the elite of the elite of the weight class. And two of the best fighters in the UFC, arguably. And then we get to the main event. Can Jared Cannonier upset Israel Adesanya? I cannot wait for this card, guys. Absolutely not. I just hope we have Joe Rogan back at pay-per-view 276. Can't wait for Bruce hyping it up in the announcement. Goosebumps already. The closer it gets, the more I'm interested in Nunes versus Pena too. Yeah, I think it's a little bit underrated. Joey, do you think Ortega is the Gustafsson of the 45? Probably, yeah. Never going to get to the title, so always second best. Oh, never mind. What do you think of Holloway versus McGregor 2 at 155 if Holloway loses the fight this weekend? I would like to see that. I don't think McGregor's taking that fight. I don't see it happening. Don't see it happening. Who has a better chin, Max or Ortega? I say Ortega. I don't know, man. That's a tough question because it all depends how many shots you take. I don't know. What's up, Joey? You having any camera problems? No, I'm not. But I'm also on StreamYard here, and I had it when I was on OBS. I wonder if I don't know if that's a factor, so I'm going to have to check that out. I don't know why, but I feel like Ortega would become champion if Max and Volk never existed in the same division. Very possible. Getting me hyped. Let's go. I know. I'm so excited for UFC 276. Adriano Yanez's last name is actually pronounced Yanez. Yanez? I think it's Yanez. Really? It's Yanez? Or Yan? Is it Yanez? I don't know. Send me the clip. Comment on the video and send me the clip where he says it. That Malley fight is like Canelo fought Carlos. Was old and obvious win. Kinda. If Stipe doesn't fight Jones, who will he fight next? I have no clue. No clue. Maybe a combination of Tai Tuivasa, Cyril Gane, Aspinall, or Blades. One of those winners. If Ortega loses to Yair, he's in a pretty bad spot for sure. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Max still just 30. Damn, he's been around forever. I know. I watched him fight live in 2014. Nah, it has a squiggly line over the end. This is the same thing that Sean O'Malley expect from Malley to do with Munoz. They wanted to promote that KO if he can finish a durable guy like Munoz. Okay, who do you got in Yair Ortega? 50-50. I'm going Yair. He's right. What's your favorite fight on the whole card? Mine's the trilogy. Yanez. Okay. 37 people in the chat, only 13 likes. Let's get the likes up. Yeah, guys, go like the stream. Go like the stream. Let's see how many likes we got right now. We got 20 likes. Come on, guys. We got like 35 people in the chat. Go like the stream. Support the channel. If you enjoy the channel in any remote fashion, I need you to go like the stream. That's how we get more people in here and we get more votes. In the poll, we get more questions and we end up with good conversation. There's the link. You have to comment on the video. It won't come through the chat. It's not going to come through the chat. Max has a crazy chin. I mean, he took shots from Poirier. They were pretty big. Yeah, Conor couldn't even take those shots. You're right. It's the beginning of his interview with Luke Thomas. Okay. I'll check it out. You wrong. Watch the Thomas interview. Okay. On Luke Thomas, he explained it's like Jan, like Piotr. Yanez? Let me just go look it up real quick. Just give me a second now. Let me see if I can find it. Adrian. Well, give me a timestamp. Give me a timestamp. Luke Thomas. Give me a timestamp and I'll check it up. Check it out in a second. Spoiler clown. Yeah, man. I mean, it's not the thing I don't like is he's like 9 or 10 fights into the UFC now and he's just getting his first test. It's kind of annoying. But he's finally getting it, so I got to stop complaining about it. Joe, do you think Max is a young legend? Yes. Imagine if Sean O'Malley enters the arena in a stretcher just to troll. That'd be hilarious. Anik usually doesn't slip. Yeah, I guess he doesn't know. DC crying. Holloway robbed in their second fight. If MMA Guru wanted to collaborate, would you? I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. Maybe. Yep, Yanez. Just join the stream. Who do you got between Sean and Pereira? I have a full breakdown and prediction on the channel, but I'm going with Pereira. Okay, let me go listen to this real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. 20 seconds in. Let me take a look.
Now, via the magic of Zoom, is one of the rising stars, really independent of any weight class.
Let's take a look.
Adrian, or is it, how do you pronounce your first name? Is it Adrian Yanez? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Adrian. Last name is the one that I
Adrian.
whitewash a little bit because white people really can't say it. Like the N, the N is supposed to have an Enya, so it's supposed
it has an Enya on it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's Yanez?
Yeah, Yanez. But a lot of white people can't say it, so I was just like, no, it's just Yanez. Just say Yanez. That's fine.
Yanez.
Okay, well, I will say it correctly. I've been taking Spanish for a few years, so I'm not good at it, but I'm at least trying. Either way, welcome. I'm very delighted to have you.
Adrian Yanez.
First, I see you got a little bit of an injury.
Adrian Yanez. I'm mind blown. I'm mind blown. I'm absolute mind blown. Everything I known about Adrian Yanez was a lie. It's the same way you pronounce Pena. How does that even make sense? Oh, I see what you're saying. Pena instead of Pena. I see. Definitely not a robbery. Joe, do you think UFC 279 can be Jon Jones' heavyweight debut? Nobody Sterling? Yes, I think it will be. I talked about it earlier. Is Diaz versus Khamzat really going to happen? You think Nate could pull off? No. Nate would get absolutely murked. Is it going to happen? I'm going to say yeah. No. I'm going to say yeah. I don't know how I said that. That's crazy. Not the biggest fan of Luke, but I can handle morning combat in small doses. Thoughts on Brian Campbell? I'm being totally honest. I know sometimes this might sound like a bit of an exaggeration. I almost watch no MMA content. I've watched a little bit of morning combat. I've watched a little bit of everything, to be honest. But as far as like watching it in any like long periods of time, I don't remember the last time I watched anything MMA related. Like outside of like embeddeds or countdowns or anything like that. But as far as like YouTube content for more than like 20 minutes, I watched James Lynch's Q&As and some of his opinion videos, some of his interviews occasionally. But I'm not big on interviews. I'm not huge on interviews. As far as morning combat, it's okay. I used to like Luke Thomas back in the day. I used to like when they used to do the MMA beat. Only the OGs will remember the MMA beat. I used to watch the MMA beat. I just like the mix of personalities is what I liked. As far as Brian Campbell, I don't know, man. I guess he's all right. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about him. A little bit of a goofball, but I guess that's a compliment. I don't know. I'm a goofball too, so I don't know. There you go. That's the best I can think of. But I haven't watched it for extended periods of time. You know, so I like with something like sometimes I can watch 30 seconds of something and I can give you my opinion. Like this is garbage. But as far as they seem, I mean, they got a good production. Everything seems, at least slightly educated. But I can't give you an in depth. No, I do not. Max is going to finish him this time around. Can't leave it to the uneducated judges. Does Yuri successfully defend the light heavyweight belt? Sure. Thanks for the correction, fellas. No doubt. I love Luke and BC. I'm glad that you do. I'd rather see Kevin Holland versus Nate Diaz. Okay, I doubt that's going to happen. Joe, who do you see in Luke versus Till? Luke Rockhold? I'd see Luke Rockhold winning. Who do you got in Masvidal McGregor? I think Masvidal would beat the brakes off of McGregor. I think that's what would happen. Who do you have in potential Bilal versus Khamzat matchup? I'd pick Khamzat. Better striker. I wish Luke did more solo breakdowns and technical application videos, interviews. Yeah. I think the problem with Luke is it's like a lot of people just feel like he tries to come off too smart. And maybe that's just his personality. I don't mind it too much. Like some things put me off. That doesn't really put me off too much. But there's certain things that I feel like I'm trying to think how to explain this. There was a point in time where I used to watch him, and then he became the host of the MMA Hour, and I could notice a discernible change, and I stopped watching. And then when he went back to the way he was before, he basically admitted to that discernible change. And I didn't like that. I don't mess with that. And I didn't watch him like I watched the MMA beat religiously, but outside of that, what's worse, Pat McAfee or Brendan Schaub? Brendan Schaub. I don't know how anyone on this earth watches Brendan Schaub. I really don't. I think it's hate watching. Yeah, the MMA beat era was cool. I agree. Sirius XM days. Who's lightweight GOAT, Habib or Charles? Charles is coming up on it, but right now Habib. BC's chode, okay. Did you predict Cormier to win any of the Jon Jones fight? No. Nope. I actually picked Jones by second round TKO in the second fight. I think that's what it was. Whatever the actual outcome was is what I picked. Johnny Bones Jones. I think it was second round TKO. And I even picked it by a head kick, which started it off, but technically finished him off with a ground and pound. Let's see. That was overturned. Oh, it was third round. That's what I picked then. Whatever it was, I was exact, but I don't remember what it was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm curious. Ask me about other predictions I had of older fights before I had a channel. And I'll see if I can remember some of them. If you can think of any big fights, just put it in the chat. Ask me what my prediction was. I'm not going to remember the round, the finish, but I'll know who I picked. I think Masvidal McGregor's 50-50. Fair enough. Valerie Loretta, the Bellator fighter, is fine AF. Okay. You play UFC games? No, I do not. Who is next for Chandler realistically? Maybe Beneil, but probably Connor. That's the fight that he's going to be campaigning for. Brendan Schaub could have been champ. Stop it. Jokes. I watched Brendan Schaub, Rothwell versus him, a comedy special of its own. The fight replay. Stop it. I already read that. Musasi lost, but he still is hung like a horse. Okay, that's not something that necessarily matters to me, but I'm glad you know that, Mendez. Have you predicted anyone to beat Jones in previous fights? Well, hold on. I got Jones' resume up here. Let's take a look. So I started watching around the time he beat Shogun, but I never predicted that fight. I didn't even see the fight versus Shogun. I picked him to beat Quentin Rampage. I picked Lyoto Machida to beat him. I picked him to beat Rashad. I picked him to beat Vitor. I picked him to destroy Chael. I picked him to beat Gustafsson. I think I picked Glover Teixeira to beat Jones, though. I picked him to beat Cormier. I picked him to beat OSP. I picked him to beat Gustafsson. I picked him every single fight after that. So the only fights I picked against him was Glover Teixeira and Lyoto Machida, I believe. Yeah, I definitely didn't pick any of Rashad, Vitor, Chael. The only other one I could have picked, because that was so long ago, I don't remember, it's right when I became a fan. There's a chance I could have picked Rampage, but I don't think I did. But I definitely picked Lyoto. I remember thinking Lyoto's not going to get touched. He's going to work him from the outside. Outside of that, I never picked against him. So Lyoto Machida and Glover Teixeira is when I picked against him. Bad picks. I'm not answering it. Real quick, what was UFC 94? It was Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, co-main event. Luke Rockhold versus Chris Weidman. Third fight down the card, Jacare Souza, Yoel Romero. There you go. Silva Weidman was in 2013. Insanity. Joey, who do you think would win this fight? Cody Garbrandt versus Danny Sabatello. Cody Garbrandt for sure. Who did you predict for Diaz McGregor 2? I picked Diaz in both of those fights. 100% picked him in both those fights. I picked him to win. The first fight, I said Nate Diaz is a nightmare matchup for him. What's your favorite call-out of all time off the top of your head? Even though it was kind of corny and I'm not a big Chael Sonnen fan, I thought it was hilarious when he went in the post-fight interview and he said, Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck. I thought it was kind of funny, even though it was corny, though. But back then, I really wanted to see that rematch. Testing you. Well, there you go. I didn't type nothing in the computer. There you go. Who did you predict in Diaz versus Leon? There's actually a prediction video on the channel. I picked Leon to beat him up for 5 rounds, I believe. Who do you think would win a UFC fight, Nate Robinson or CM Punk? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Joey, how come Jon Jones doesn't have back-to-back wins against DC? Because I know it wasn't a draw. He finished him, but he tested positive for PED, so it was overturned to a no contest. Who did you predict? What was your worst prediction? Give me a second. I actually skipped this. Who did you predict in Sean versus Vera? I thought Sean was going to win that fight. I thought he was going to outstrike him from the outside. So I picked Sean O'Malley to beat Marlon Vera. Bad pick, because we all know what happens. Parlay, Clark, Munez, Duplessis, O'Malley, Barberina, Adesanya. I think Lawler's going to beat up Barberina. What was your worst prediction? We went over this the other day, and I can't remember what the answer was. Probably Glover Teixeira over Jon Jones. Paulo Costa versus Adesanya. I thought Paulo Costa was going to walk him down, land. I thought he was going to be too big, too strong, too powerful, too much volume. And Adesanya went out there and made him look like he didn't even belong in there. That was probably my worst prediction. One of my best, I picked Jan Blachowicz to beat Adesanya, and I was very confident in that prediction too. So far, I'm 5-2 on Tapology. You can join our Tapology group, VT. Are you in our Tapology group? I posted in the Discord, members only Tapology group. So feel free to join, and we're keeping track of it. Let's see what my current record. I've forgot. I'm trying to get better now that we have a Tapology group to pick the fights. But I haven't picked every fight this year, so I have a lot of fights that I missed. But let's see what my current rate is. Right now I'm 41-24, so I got a 63% correct rate. But there's a lot of good picks that I missed in there. There's a lot of ones I missed. So I have no idea what I would be at if I picked every fight. But I'm going to try to pick every fight on every card from here on out. So also, who did you predict in Sandhagen versus Sterling? You know, I don't remember putting a lot of thought into that fight. I want to say I picked Sandhagen, but I truly don't remember. But I probably picked Sandhagen. I don't know. I might have picked Aljo. I can't remember. That one slips my mind for some reason. Who's a bust you thought was going to be good? Johnny Walker. I thought Aussie part. Also, I like Khalil Roundtree too. I like an Aussie parlay. Izzy Volk Riddell. Okay. Who do you think is the most exciting fighter in the UFC on a consistent basis? My pick is Carlos Barza. Probably Carlos Barza. I agree with you 100%. Canelo versus Usman. Stop. I tried. I need to be accepted. Okay, we'll get you in there, my friend. French fries, if you're listening, can you go accept them? And can you add me on there so I can accept people too? I know you set it up for us, but I already picked I already picked all 12 fights for Saturday. Predictions made. Apparently, I canceled one prediction. Perfect picks 3 in the rounds. Events picked 19. Yeah, so most correct picks. I got 8 correct. That was the most I picked on a card. I was only picking the fights that I did videos for, but then now I'm just picking every fight on the card because I do better with full card predictions anyway. What did you predict in Ngannou Stipe 1 and 2? 1, I picked Stipe to win by decision. It was perfect. And 2, I picked Ngannou to KO. So I picked both those fights accurately. What about McGregor versus Aldo? I'm sure you picked Aldo. Yes, I did. I picked Aldo to beat him. I thought he was going to beat him, and I was confident in Aldo too. Did you see Cannonier catching Izzy and putting him out cold? Upset? Like, no. I highly doubt that. I don't know if you saw my message earlier, but how do you think Masvidal versus McGregor isn't an even matchup? I think Masvidal's got good striking. And I think McGregor's coming off an injury. I think Jorge's bigger than him. But it could be a 50-50 fight. Maybe a 60-40. Who do you pick in Usman versus Woodley? I was one of the very few. I was confident. I wish I had a prediction video for this fight. I was confident that Usman was going to go out there and out-wrestle Tyron Woodley. 100%. I picked Usman, and I was confident in it. I wish I had a wish I had a prediction video on the channel for that. Buy a cupcake in the honor of Cupcake Carla. Thank you for the super chat, Kenosha. I appreciate it. I'll buy a cupcake in her honor. I don't know, though. Cupcakes might be a little bit more expensive, man. We might need another super chat here. JJ Smoke, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you, man. If you got Discord and you need the link, it should be in the members only community tab, but it expires after a couple weeks. So let me know. I'll post a new link if that one is expired. Just leave me a comment. And also, if you want to join our Tapology group, you can join our Tapology group. Once you get into the Discord, we'll send you the link or whatever that you need. So, let's go back. But thank you again for the donation and thank you for becoming a member. If anyone else wants to become a member, the link is in the description. Joe, what's your favorite rivalry? DC versus Jones, Silva Sonnen. Silva Sonnen, then DC Jones would be my guess. Silva Sonnen is just nostalgic to me because that's when I first started watching. Khalil is no bust. He just won his last fight. Yeah, but I don't know if he's a bust, but he's never going to be champion. Remember when you tried to guess main event of pay-per-views? That was fun. Yeah. Go ahead. Throw me one out there. If I don't remember, I don't remember. Edwards beats Usman, exploits that low calf kick. Usman chicken legs. I lean Edwards early, but I haven't thought about it too much. Max Holloway better win so we can watch the 5th fight. Yeah, it would be a 4th fight. Watch as he lose to the shittiest contender in Cannonier. I know, that'd be hilarious. I've never seen Usman check a kick. I have seen him catch a kick, but never check one. You're probably right. Who did you have in Derek Lewis versus Ngannou? I had Ngannou and I had Gon. And Gon prediction videos on the channel. It was very accurate. But I had Ngannou beating Derek Lewis. What do you think about Umar Khabib's cousin as a big potential as Khamzat Shavkat and Arman? And how will he do again? I like Usman. Or not Usman. Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't know why I said Usman there. I guess because I was looking at the message above. But Umar Nurmagomedov, I think, is an elite level bantamweight. It's a big win over Nate Maness, and I can't wait to see who he fights next. Yeah, VT. Just let him in. I don't know if that's his name on Tapology or not, but find out what his name is. But yeah, I don't. There you go, V-Trags. Cannonier is the worst title challenger in a while. I guess he beat Fat 170 or Gastelum. I actually gave Gastelum that fight. Which fighter were you sad to see get knocked out cold? Anderson Silva. Joe, what's your picks for 277? Mine is Pena, Kai, Ankalaev, Pavlovich, Pantoja. I'm not sure of every fight, and I really don't feel like looking up the full card right now. I'm going Nunes, Moreno, Ankalaev. Pavlovich is fighting Derek Lewis, and I'll go Pavlovich as well. Pantoja, who is he fighting? Let me know. Last week I did amazing, got 10 correct. Great. Do you remember your Lesnar mirror prediction? I wasn't really a fan then. I didn't make a prediction then. Or I didn't have thoughts on it. I didn't really know the sport that well. I didn't watch either one of those fights live, I don't believe. Yeah, no, the rematch was at UFC 100, so no. Usman does have the skinniest legs ever, but never stopped the likes of John Bones or Izzy. True, true, true. True, 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 true. Let me X out all these tabs I got here. I don't need this anymore. X out of Tapology. Keep that tab open so I can remember to go check out that fight. Okay. Usman does, okay, Reddit. I think Cannonier is one of the better contenders, to be honest. Way more powerful than Whitaker. A solid chin, good mindset, not gun shy like Romero, and Costa, a certified bum now. I don't think Costa's a certified bum. Joey, who did you have at UFC 207? I had Nunes and Cruz. UFC 207. I can't remember who was fighting then. Oh, I definitely had Nunes. I had Nunes and Cruz and TJ. I thought Cruz was going to make Cody Garbrandt look like he didn't even belong in there. I was confident Cruz. I thought Cody Garbrandt was going to be rushing forward. Cruz was going to be using his head movement and footwork, dodging his punches and countering him. And I remember laughing my ass off when Nunes versus Rousey got booked. Because I had people, being a big MMA fan, Rousey was a draw for casuals. And I remember occasionally when you had a big fight, there'd be random people who would ask me, oh, who you got in this fight? And who you got in that fight? And I remember people actively asking me, oh, who do you think's going to win, Nunes or Rousey? And I said, Nunes is going to beat the living shit out of her. And sure enough, that's what happened. Who'd you have in the Silva Chris Weidman prediction? I took Silva both times. Lesnar versus Carlin was probably the best UFC card ever. That was a crazy comeback by Lesnar. Do you watch Dana White looking for a fight series? Not often. What do you think was the biggest robbery? Diego Sanchez versus Ross Pearson. Bantamweight. Do you think an update on what UFC 277 clip is? No, I won't know until it comes out. It's just gonna be probably something from the beginning of the video would be my guess. Yeah, hold on a second. I'll tweet out I'll not tweet out. I'll repost the Discord link right now. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel right this very second. Invite, copy link. I'll just go post it on the thing right now. All channel members in our members only Discord. Okay, it is in there. It is on there. All channel members. Unexpired link now. Let me go delete that expired one. 9 days ago? Already expired? I thought it expired for 2 weeks. So there we go. I deleted that off there. New link is on there. New members link is on there. VT, you're tripping. Whitaker beats Cannonier on his worst day. I agree. I thought Costa beat Vettori. He landed way more powerful strikes. It was a close fight. I think Vettori just not having any reaction to him is what it was. Do you think Conor versus Khabib will be surpassed anytime soon? No. Unless we get Jones versus Ngannou. I think there's a chance then. I think there's a chance if we get Jones versus Ngannou. I did say he beats Whitaker. I just said more powerful. Okay. Who do you got in Khamzat versus Shavkat? Right now, I would probably take Khamzat, but it'd be close. Who did you have in the Weidman versus Rockhold? I was confident that Rockhold would beat Weidman. There you go. You can add French fries. Who is your favorite underrated fighter? Favorite underrated fighter. I don't know. Favorite underrated fighter. I really don't know right now off the top of my head. I can't think of one. I'll throw out a friend of the channel, Chris Curtis. He's underrated. Not even in the top 15. I mean, we got Weidman in there, who hasn't fought in a year, has a broken leg, lost to Uriah Hall. We got Shabazian in there on a 3-fight losing streak, and Chris Curtis 3-0 against 2 up-and-comers, and then just beat Rodolfo Vieira. Come on now, he belonged in the rankings. Bullshit. Who did you have in the Stipe DC fights? I had Stipe, then DC, then Stipe for the trilogy. I picked Stipe in all 3. The Shavkat call out make me angry. Yeah, I don't want to see him versus Wonderboy. Whitaker's speed gives him way more power than skinny, fat journeyman Cannonier. Nobody knows what his background is wrestling. Okay. Thanks. What do you think was the biggest comeback ever? Biggest comeback ever. Probably Derek Lewis, Alexander Volkov. Joey, have you ever illegally streamed a pay-per-view? Honest answer, no, I never have. For me, it's not worth the liability issues. The reliability issues, not liability. What's your favorite MMA movie, TV show? None. Any movie they're advertising on UFC, I ain't gonna go see. It's gonna be some garbage stuff like with like knockoff actors and stuff like that. I don't think Jon Jones and Ngannou will ever get 1 million buys. Now I think Jones and Ngannou gets at least 1 million. I doubt it. I doubt that it gets past Conor Khabib though. I don't see any fights sell pay-per-views like Khabib versus Conor, even Jones. Yeah, I probably agree with you. Tony Ferguson under the radar at this point. Everyone quick to write him off. Yep, there's another one. That's probably my favorite underrated fighter. Who wins 5 rounds, Tony versus Wonderboy? Probably Wonderboy, unfortunately. Joey, where is Colby hiding? I don't know, man. Maybe underneath the cage, Jon Jones style. Curtis definitely beats Weidman and Shabazz. And that's not even the point, really, that he beats him. It's just the fact that Weidman hasn't fought. He has a broken leg. Who knows when he's going to return. Supposed to be active fighters in the rankings. Then you have Shabazz, who's on a 3-fight losing streak. Wow, come on now. I've said it a million times about the rankings. And this isn't just because I like Chris Curtis. Like, if I didn't think he would belong to the rankings, I would say as much. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just being honest here. We got 2 inactive guys. Meanwhile, we got a guy who's staying active, beating legit competition. Maybe it's not the elite of the division, but he's got to work his way there. He just came into the UFC literally in November of last year. Biggest comeback ever, Craig Ankalaev. That was a good one. If Burns drops Khamzat, could see a possibly chance of Usman sleeping Khamzat cold. Definitely. Biggest comeback was Congo Pat Barry? No. Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen. The fight that made me love MMA forever. I think there's a chance we could see that as a future title fight. Joey, how do you see Munoz does in the flyweight division? I think he belongs in the flyweight division to be quite honest. And if O'Malley beats Munoz and people start acting like he belongs fighting for the title or anything crazy, I'll be quick to shut that down. Who did you have in Oliveira versus Holloway? I don't remember, man. That was so long ago. I have no idea if I even picked that fight. What was there any word on the pay-per-view buys of Ngannou? Gone. There was just made-up numbers. Could Michael Chandler make a run at middleweight? Michael Chiesa, no. What do you think when Pena subbed Nunes? I thought it was weird as hell. Colby not allowed to fight until he face heals and his legal charges settled. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Joey, who do you got in the London card? I got Blades and Till. I probably got Aspinall and Till. Did Umar Nurmagomedov's performance amaze you? What is his future? How will his performance against Sean O'Malley? I wouldn't say it amazed me. I would have liked to seen him got the finish, but it was impressive. Against O'Malley, it'd be very, very interesting. I'd probably pick Umar against O'Malley. I think Nate Diaz McGregor comeback. Oh, that was a great one too. What do you think of Whitaker talking about going to 205? I don't know. Just off company value. I don't know what we're saying there. Rate the top 5 MMA promotions from last to first. I have no clue. I would say number 1's the UFC. Probably number 2. I don't watch a lot of 1, but it's got great fighters in it. So maybe 1, but I haven't watched a lot of it. Bellator, then maybe PFL, then maybe probably another one that I can't think of off the top of my head. What fights you were hyped for, but it was a snooze fest? Yoel Romero, Israel Adesanya. I was crazy excited for that fight, and I was massively let down and disturbed. Munoz versus Kopp. Who wins? Probably Kopp. Munoz is the easiest matchup in the top 10. Agreed for sure. I was hyped when Nunes beat Cyborg. I had Nunes. It was a great fight, too. Would Shevchenko-Nunes 3 be the biggest fight in women's history? Probably not. Could Till beat Izzy? Absolutely not. I think stories sell fights more than anything. Khabib Conor broke records because not only was it an interesting matchup stylistically, but also had drama around it. I agree. Who did you have in both Diaz Connors? I had Conor in both. I had Diaz in both. 100% had Diaz in both. And was confident in Diaz in both. And I thought Diaz won both, too. Do people still think Nate Diaz is a high-level fighter? I've been around since the Ultimate Fighter 1 or some shit. He's been around since... I don't know. Do you think your prediction game is good? Because personally, last card I was 0-5. I think I'm pretty good at predictions. I mean, it's MMA. You never know what's going to happen, but I think I'm pretty solid. But you guys tell me. I put out my predictions for you guys to see. Who is heavyweight GOAT at the moment? Stipe. Joey, how do you see TJ or Dom do at 145? I think they're too small. I think Gastelum Darren Till needs to go back to welterweight and show Usman where he belongs in pound for pound picture. Stop it. Darren Till's losing to Usman badly. Did you have Holloway winning the second fight versus Volk? No, I had Volk. I picked Volk in both Holloway fights, and I thought Volk won both Holloway fights. But the second one was razor close. The first one, I thought it was clearly for Alexander Volkanovski. I didn't think the first one was up for debate. All right, we got 69. Somebody voted. I'm done. I was going to end the thing at 69 votes. We have 64% for Max Holloway, 36% for Alexander Volkanovski in our poll. So 64% think Max Holloway won the second fight. If anyone thought Max Holloway won the first fight, I don't know what you were watching, to be quite honest. The first fight. Second fight, I understand. Could have went either way. Do you actually think Dominic Cruz can beat Chito Vera? I think it's a possibility. I think a lot of people are not looking at Pedro's chin. He's got crazy good chin. If Sean wins, I got to say, yeah, I picked Sean by decision in my prediction video. JJ Smoke went 10-2 last week. Are you telling him that you went 10-2 or he did? Till is another bum, does not have fighter's mentality or the athleticism to compete at a high level anymore. I picked against him pretty much like every single fight. I think I picked Till versus Woodley, but that's the last time I picked him. I think Holloway definitely loses this fight. He did incredibly well in the second fight. He won that one, but this time it's probably over. We'll see. Joe, what do you think the UFC would give Volk a lightweight title shot against Oliveira, or do you think he would defend against Josh Emmett? I think maybe they wait for the winner of Oliveira versus Islam, and then they give Volk that fight. So, there you go. Guys, we'll go for a little bit longer. We're already an hour and 12 minutes in. So we'll go for a little bit longer. So throw your questions in the chat. Like the stream, and like the stream some more. Max Holloway needs to retire if he loses. Go visit his 69 islands and chill with a Corona. Okay. I know you think Umar versus Frankie would be a clear win for Umar, but do you think it makes sense? Yeah, it probably makes sense. The young are perpetually eating the old in UFC. Defend his title against Josh Emmett. I have no desire to see that. Who did you have in Till versus Masvidal? I actually picked Masvidal in that fight. I picked Masvidal against Till. I picked Masvidal against Askren. I picked Masvidal. I didn't pick him versus Usman. Ugh, no. I picked Masvidal versus Colby. Was one of the very few that made that decision. I was leaning Colby the whole way. I watched some fights before I made my prediction video and changed my mind, and it was a terrible pick. Who's a fighter ranked in the top 5 that can't beat anyone within the top 5? Jeez Louise, coming with the tough questions. Who's a fighter ranked within the top 5 that can't beat anyone in the top 5? I don't know. I think Bilal loses to everyone ahead of him. I think Derek Brunson probably loses to everyone ahead of him, but he would have a chance. So, there you go. There's my answer. I'll say Bilal. Stylistically, I think it's a tough matchup for Yan, but considering his layoff ring rust, how do you think Cejudo does against Yan? I think Yan wins, but I think it's a fun, competitive matchup. Who do you want to win Islam versus Charles? I really like Charles Oliveira, so probably Charles. Can Frankie Edgar make a comeback if his chin heals miraculously? No. Who's your favorite fighter right now, like a guy you're always hoping he wins? Jose Aldo. Joey, if you are Dana White, what fights you set up for the main card for the year's final pay-per-view? Jones and Ngannou. Conor Masvidal. Charles Islam. All those great fights. Wait, is Stipe fighting Jones? Probably. What did you think Masvidal slept Askren? I thought my prediction going into that fight was Masvidal was going to brutally KO him in the first round. He has no striking at all. And that's what happened. Now, I didn't think it was going to be a flying knee in the first second, but you get the point. Joey, fantasy fight, who wins Tyron Woodley versus Chaos Williams? I don't know. Masvidal is such a journeyman. Colby wasn't even joking. He had a miracle win against Till. Hindsight, we know he sucked. No, I don't think Masvidal sucked. Masvidal was vastly underrated for years. Underrated for years. Then he got some big wins and become massively overrated. Drake lost $600K betting on Masvidal. Yeah, but I think he's working for a company that he's advertising bets. Said company gives him the money to bet. He bets it and just puts it out there, so then people come and flock to that betting website to bet. And that's what happens there, I believe. I don't know that to be 100% fact. I haven't looked into it. But basically, the company gives him the money to bet on their website. So he's basically betting with house money that he can never lose. They're paying him on top of it to do that and then advertise it so that people go and flock there and bet. Honestly, Emmett, probably don't see him beating Max Volk or Ortega a year. I agree. What does the winner of Marvin versus Robert get? What's next for the winner? I don't know, because they're not fighting for a title as long as Izzy's the champ. Could you see Conor ever not headlining a pay-per-view? Probably not. Who would win in a fight between Umar and Merab? I'd pick Umar at this point. I think he's a better striker. Who has the faster career nosedive from elite status than Tyron Woodley? Maybe Cody Garbrandt. Sandhagen is top 5 and loses to everyone in the top 5, in my opinion. I think he could beat Marlon Vera. I see a lot of news saying Francis is going to be ready in December, early 2023, so why not wait for Jones-Francis? I hope they do. That's what I said earlier in the stream, that I really hope they do. What kind of style is best against Jones, and who has the best chance to beat him in light heavyweight and heavyweight? I know, in my opinion, it's Rakic and Ngannou. Definitely Ngannou at heavyweight. Best chance at light heavyweight to beat Jon Jones? Probably Ankalaev, but I think everybody at light heavyweight loses to prime Jon Jones. Habib versus GSP in their prime. Who wins? GSP. He just outstrikes them and defends the takedowns. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Joey, what was your reaction to watch Max do this live? I don't remember exactly what you're referring to. Maybe the Cater fight. I didn't really have a reaction. I was just worried about Cater getting killed. Masvidal was never underrated. He was a lightweight in Strikeforce and losing to all noobs. He was underrated at one point in time. My favorite fighter right now, believe it or not, is Aljamain Sterling, and I think the worst matchup for him is Jose Aldo. Fair enough. Prime DC versus Prime Francis. Who wins? Probably DC, honestly. DC probably dumps him on his head, but Francis could KO him early. Could Tony beat Dustin? Yes. Joey, I think we're going to get Islam Charles at UFC 281. It's not going to be a pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a numbered event. That would be awesome. I love that fight. I'm dying to see that fight. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev is my currently most realistic possibly fight of happening. Most realistic chance of happening fight that I am most excited for. Number 1 on the list. If you must choose one fight to watch this year, what are you going to choose? Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, or Jon Jones, Miocic? Definitely Oliveira, Makhachev. I hate Sterling. A lot of people do. Josh Emmett has to be one of the weirdest fighters. He's 18-2 with a 5-fight win streak, and he's active, but no one talks about him. Yeah, I agree, John. Can Nate Diaz beat anyone in the top 15 at 170 pounds? Let's take a look-see. Michel Pereira, maybe, but probably not. Li Jingliang probably could beat him. Jeff Neal probably loses. Neil Magny definitely loses. Chiesa definitely loses. Shavkat loses. Sean Brady loses. Masvidal loses, but I think it's possible for him to beat Masvidal. Wonderboy loses. Vicente loses. All the top 5 he loses. So maybe. Drake bets a lot, even on basketball and boxing. Also, he's rich. If he gets paid to bet more, likely he's just rich and gotta... Yeah, okay. Fair enough. If they wait for Jones-Francis, then what's going to be 280? I have no idea. Usman versus Diaz, who do you got? I'm not even dignifying that one. Emmett reminds me of Dariush. Yeah, he's the Dariush of the featherweight. We should shut down 135 if Sterling remains champ. Stop it. Josh Emmett reminds me of Cannonier. He wins fight, but nobody thinks he's going to win a title. That's a good assessment. Easier said than done. Avoid Habib takedowns. What if GSP got pushed into deep water along the cage? Not going to happen. GSP had elite level of grappling. Will you be interesting? What? No. What was Nick Diaz suspension too much? Yes. I think he got like 5 years for having marijuana in his system. What a joke. Well, Sterling is champ, so deal with it, JJ. Okay, there you go. There you go. Deal with it. All right, guys, if you have not liked the stream already, run up the likes on the stream. There's like 46 people in here. We got 33 likes on the stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go down below and subscribe to the channel this very second. I wanted to try to get to 4,000 before the end of the month. That doesn't look like it's going to happen because it's the 29th right now. So we got 48 hours to get to 4,000. I don't think that's going to happen. We're at 3,725 subs. So we need 70? We need 275 subscribers in the next 48 hours to hit 4,000. But either way, we'll get there the first week of July. But if you're not subscribed, do me a favor right this second. Go down below and subscribe. And I will be live tomorrow. I'm going on at 5:30 Eastern time. Isn't Shavkat's call out perfect because he would dominate Wonderboy? Yeah, but I don't want to see that fight. I'm not interested in that fight. Shavkat call out Nick Diaz, not even Nate. Yeah, I don't want to see that at all. If Islam Charles fight, who will be the champ and defend belt if it got taken? If Islam wins, will he then be the champ? Who will be the champ? It'll be a vacant championship fight, and if Islam wins, he will be the champ. MMA Joey versus Krispy Kreme Donuts main event. Okay, that's fine. Joey, if I had a button that would vanish women's MMA UFC out of all pay-per-views, would you press it? I'd be tempted, but probably not. Just wait until Aldo gets a shot. Josh Emmett won that fight and is underrated. He's definitely underrated, but I want to see UFC do a China card. Weili Zhang versus Yan Xiaonan. Co-main Corey versus Song Yudong. Featured fight Neil versus Li Jingliang. First off, I believe Weili Zhang and Yan Xiaonan are both Chinese. They're not going to book those against each other. They're going to book each one of those an opponent that's non-Chinese so the Chinese can root for their fighter, if that makes sense. If we ever get Izzy versus Yuri, who do you think will win? Yuri, he's too big, too strong. He's not getting put to sleep, and it would be a lot of fun for sure. What was your favorite card of all time? Maybe 268, maybe 289, something along those lines. All right, guys, I'm getting off here. We went an hour and 22 minutes. I appreciate you guys for joining me. If you donated, thank you for donating. If you became a member, appreciate you. Don't forget to join the members Discord if you haven't already. I will be live tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern time. So join me tomorrow for the weekly live chat. And also on Friday, I'll be doing a really long stream Friday night, like 2 hours. 2-3 hours. We'll see if we'll go. It'll be like a UFC 276 like pre-fight stream type deal. So join me then. We'll be streaming a bunch more this week. And then Saturday night, we'll be doing the live post-fight show. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And enjoy the rest of your night.